Konnichiwa, guys. My name is Philip. I just turned 23 last month and find myself in a bit of a dilemma. I could really do with some advice on what I should do with my family after they tried to rip me off some time ago. But before I continue with my story, I'd like you to drop a like on this video and please subscribe to my story world. I come from a family of 5, mum and dad, and my older twin brothers, Jason and Tate. We're originally from Australia, but have been living in Tokyo, Japan, for the past 10 years. We moved here from Canberra when Dad got a transfer from work. After struggling to settle into the buzzing nature of the city, I eventually started taking to it. That long warm-up time was my undoing growing up. My family always made me feel like an outcast. They'd always take issue with me spending long hours in my room after school. Mum would always moan about my inactivity after we moved to Asia. They thought I was probably peeved over missing my friends back home, but that was far from true. Though I did miss my childhood friends, I just felt a disconnect from my new surroundings. Tokyo wasn't my type of scene. Don't get me wrong, I loved the people and the culture. It just felt too busy. The frisk, party life, constant noise, and food wasn't what I was used to growing up in Canberra. My brothers had just turned 18 at the time, whilst I was 13, so I figured Jason and Tate found it easier to blend in quickly. They also had each other's company all the time. I, on the other hand, always felt alienated. So I holed up in my room and spent all my time on my computer. Being alone with just my thoughts and constantly staring at a PC screen took a toll on me. Within our first 4 years in Japan, my personality had undergone massive change. I was more reserved, soft-spoken, and shy. The only Japanese I'd learnt were konnichiwa, arigato, and a few other basics. This frustrated my folks even more. They were always quick to draw comparisons between my brothers and myself, how I was not basically good enough. But all that also came with its perks. I'd learnt how to code, design software, and build applications by 17, and I was very good at it. With that skill, luck struck a year later when I caught my first big break when I turned 18. I developed Mika, a ride-hailing application which was picked up by Japan's richest man, Takashi Endo's tech company. It made news everywhere. I'd become an overnight sensation. I was also in my first year in college and felt a constant disconnection from campus life. My anxiety worsened, especially with my newfound fame, so I dropped out of school. My parents, as expected, went crazy when they found out. Dad screamed at me, "You're a disappointment, Phil. You'll regret the shame you've brought to this family when your fame dies." That pierced my heart. I thought everything would change for the better for my family with my new fortune. I even paid for our new apartment, which was much more spacious than our old place, but it seemed everyone was unimpressed. My brothers, who had graduated from college then, would always tease me for being the most boring celebrity in Japan. I eventually moved out to my own place when it got worse. That made them hate me even more. Dad would go on TV shows and lie about how ungrateful I was. It'd also add how I abandoned my family after finding fame, and as much as this dampened my spirit, it more importantly worsened my anxiety. I stopped going out entirely, as I was afraid of being judged. My bad luck ran wild when my whole family went on Time with Hero, the biggest talk show in Asia, to attack me again. I later found out that they got paid making appearances on TV, so, in effect, they were making money off me. When I confronted my mum, she complained that I wasn't supporting enough since Dad and her lost their jobs. Weeks later, my brothers set me up. They got into a physical fight with me and filmed it. Unknown to me, they had hired paparazzi to photograph everything. They sold it to one of the top newspaper agencies around and made good money off of it. When it got published, my reputation took some damaging. It was then that I decided to cut ties completely with my family and relocate to Osaka. It was there where I finally found luck. It came in the person of Akari, whose apartment was opposite mine. She was a blind girl who had also learnt how to code by herself. We grew close quickly and spent a lot of time together. I enjoyed her company and convinced her to move in with me. Within 5 years of living together, we have developed a lot of applications for some of the biggest tech companies in Japan. We've made quite a fortune and found a lot of success, but I don't care much about that. Better news is, my anxiety has lessened now. I'm finally finding happiness, doing what I love, and also spending quality time with someone I have fallen in love with. But I'm still so confused. We've been planning our wedding for the past month, and I still don't know if I should reunite with my family and invite them. Though the things they did to me in the past still haunt me, I think I have to be the bigger person and forgive them. What should I do? Advise me, guys. If you want more stories like this, kindly subscribe to My Story World. Thank you.